So you'll hear the word autonomous a lot more often. That's what everybody's going for. They want really hands off and let the AI kind of, handle that as much as possible.
But I think that's what makes it beautiful. And that's what we are here for, so we can put some autonomy on our income, right?
How y'all doing?
What it do? What it do? We back with another episode.
Man, we have a lot of great stuff for this episode today. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in the world of AI. A lot of great things for entrepreneurs to be able to take advantage of. I'm super excited. There's some stuff I'm not as excited about as Deuce was kind of telling me about before. They took our jobs. They took our jobs.
Well, look, hey, look, all in all, we got some good things on this episode, and I want to welcome y'all to the Autonomous Income Podcast, where I'm your host, Deuce Noble.
And I'm your host, DJ.
We got a few things, like you were saying, on the docket to talk about, where we talk about all your things tech, AI focused, and business and entrepreneurship focused as well. So let's bring it to light. What we got? What we got?
Yeah, so today we have a lot. I'm super excited, and we're also going to talk about some use cases that I think will our entrepreneurs that are listening and viewing us, across the interwebs, just can take advantage of right off the get-go. And essentially, we just want to help you kind of craft some ideas so that way you can kind of bring that value back to your own business or kind of your own bag or tool set. So that way you're kind of be ready to scale or just kind of grow in what you're currently doing right now. But so I'll just start off with Anthropics. They have a computer use that opened up. So it's an API that you can kind of use. And most people that I've seen kind of leveraging it, they use Docker for it is right as far as it is right now to kind of enable that and test it out on your own system. They definitely want you to sandbox it. So they do have you going through like a VM essentially to set that up. But I mean, literally, Deuce, it's like, you prompt it and it literally takes over your mouse. Apparently, it takes like screenshots of your screen and it will map out the distance to different places on your computer so that way it knows where to click. So it'll say, okay, here's your search bar. It goes there, it types in the prompt, and you can say, hey, can you download me an image of this or do that? And this is the worst that this technology will ever be, right? So I mean, like, so the cool thing about it is like it's doing all of these things autonomously. You prompt it, and then some people are prompting it to prompt another version of itself, so another kind of iteration or an instance of itself. So that way it can really be autonomous. And this is how this whole agentic workflow and kind of automation is really going to start kicking off. I'm just super kind of excited about that.
That kind of reminds me of there's a ghost in the system, right? A lot of these things are coming out, and it's going to be so cool. I know it is, but man, I mean, I remember working with some technology years ago that kind of went through, and you had to write a script for it, and it would go and scrape your page and
Yep.
put your inputs in and everything. But I think this now where it autonomously does it and continues and grows and learns from that is going to be interesting to see how that works. That's cool.
Yes, might need to do a drinking game of how many times we can say autonomous on the podcast.
Man, listen,
We need to know
autonomous
that. Yeah, to each
autonomous
his own.
income. Listen,
Yeah,
well,
but
that's
I
like
mean,
that's like
just that's just it is what it is. I mean, in the industry, I mean, autonomous agents are scaling. I mean, there's just like a lot of workflow automations that are happening in corporate environments. Some corporations are testing out like co-pilot agents. And then I don't know if y'all saw this, but there was the CEO of Salesforce kind of went at Microsoft, basically talking about its agents and I think we'll link that below so that way you can take a look at it. But just corporate giants kind of going at each other because Salesforce has an agent force, which you guys should definitely check out and see what that's about. Like they have like autonomous agents that can handle like your sales, your customer contact, and a lot of agents that they kind of preset for that, and they have a lot of your data. And then also conversely, Microsoft they have Copilot agents that they're kind of opening up, and they just had an announcement, I believe, like last week about like the autonomous co-pilot agents that can take some of your data and do some autonomous tasks for you and things of that nature. So it's really heating up, but I mean, that's just the name of it. So he'll hear the word autonomous a lot more often because that's what everybody's going for. They want really hands off and let the AI kind of, handle that as much as possible.
but yeah, you got to think
So we should see.
everything like you said is going autonomous when it comes to You got to think when you're building things out and replicating things, you're trying to get that thing out as fast as possible. And ha, autonomy is the way to go when it comes to those things, right? Whether it's driving, right, that we've seen with Tesla and their cars, or just in general, a lot
That's
more
true.
vehicles, not even Tesla, a lot more manufacturers are making their cars with some type of autonomy to them, right? If it's not completely
Hmm.
like Tesla, because I think Tesla is light years ahead, right? But everything. So, but I think that's what makes it beautiful, and that's what we are here for, so we can put some autonomy on our income, right?
Yes, yes. So there's a lot of that. There's some enhanced security that's going on. There's like a new Chrome update, but there's some other ones like Dark Trace and Palo Alto Networks. They have like and some people have been doing this, at different scales. I mean, we know that when people say AI, there's different perceptions of how it's actually leveraged. But long story short is just like, a lot of people, what you'll see is they're marketing their cybersecurity software or malware protection and all that, saying that, AI is enhancing it and being able to pick up on things a little bit faster. So that way it can stop threats and minimize, damage or whatever the case is. So more real time, detection, just a lot of enhancements that that kind of sector is going to have. So I'll definitely keep a pulse on the whole security sector because like from consumer standpoint, honestly you want the best product that's out there, but a lot of you'll start seeing that in a lot of the marketing over and over again that hey, now enhance with AI. So I'm sure all the big players, Norton and everybody else will start saying how they're using more and more AI with their security platforms to kind of protect you, both personal and also corporate platforms.
Listen, I mean, speaking of security, I mean, did you ever try out Norton's VPN? Because I remember there was some stuff going on with the new update with iOS coming out and using VPNs and everything. So I
Yeah,
mean, that's just what I've
Norton
heard.
Core.
But
Norton Core, I remember that. Yeah.
But speaking of, well, not Nord necessarily, but I mean, I think NordVPN. But also speaking of Apple, they are supposed to be dropping 18.1 coming up here very, very soon, which is where we're gonna get our first on hand, on device glimpse of Apple Intelligence, also AI. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited to see it. Like I've been playing around with the new features on iOS 18. So 18.1, come on, bring it on, bro. We want to see it.
Yeah. I'm super excited for 18.1. We were talking about that a couple episodes ago also. It's just like, so this will be our first wave of like their first set of features. And 18.2, I think a couple days ago, opened up on the beta to where it had like
It
the rest
did.
of like, probably the bigger ones. So, I mean, of course, 18.2, one that's out for the general public, then that'll be the full swap. But at least with 18.1, we'll have some of the initial set of features that we'll have that it was stating before. It's like, so some of the writing solutions and everything like that. So, I'm super excited about, and then also that comes with the enhanced Siri, which for me, that's really what I'm looking for because I mean, like, if you ask Siri something right now, it's kind of hit or miss, like what it is. And historically, it's always been like Google has been really
All
solid.
right. If
In
I ask Siri
comparison,
something right now, it's to get to Google, bro.
yeah, yeah, it's I mean, yeah, historically been a little bit rough, but now, as they move forward, now we'll have a better experience.
Well, yeah, and I think, with that said, the better experience with what comes to our phone will make it great for all the users, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we've stated how well Apple has been doing with their marketing of their Apple Intelligence and everything that they're bringing to the forefront, their partnership with OpenAI, right? And I think that because of the users, especially in the US market, that are the amount of users on Apple devices, they're going to be able to take advantage of that a lot easier and consume that a lot easier in not just consume those tools, but digest them easier, right? And what I mean by that
Yeah.
is they get to use them and it's easy for them for just regular, everyday, mundane tasks, right? The regular, everyday person, sitting across, listening to us talk about these things can use those, right? And I think that's
Yeah.
where it's important to highlight because whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're running a small business, a medium business, a large business, you can use these tasks. It comes free from your phone. So I think that'll be really cool to see what it comes out of that. Right.
I'm super excited about that. What else you got?
But anyway, look, one thing that I think is going to be cool, especially maybe impact you. But there is Jacob Collier, a Grammy award-winning musician. He's partnered up with Google and their Google Labs. They've created this thing called Music FX DJ. All I know is
Yeah.
if there's an AI DJ out there, DJs, watch yourselves.
I
So this is
I don't appreciate this one.
look, it's an AI
I didn't
powered
mind,
music
when they
tool.
mess. I know.
Man, listen, I don't know. I mean, I guess I couldn't even fathom what it would look like for have an AI powered music tool, right? But apparently, for the highlights of it, right, it's a interface that's been redesigned to encourage creativity and help users
Yeah.
enter a flow state of artistic inspiration. I don't know, but I might need to go check this out, man. Um,
Yeah.
Whatever that means, it's called Music FX DJ. We're going to link it below just to guys give you guys a clue in. This is not an ad for them or nothing. We're just bringing some news to you. Um,
Yes.
but they also offer intuitive controls for all skill levels. So, but also like we've been preaching, DJ, you could probably use this tool to aid you in your DJing, right? You could probably become the best
Yeah.
DJ ever. You know what I mean? This tool
Or
in
that way
its
you train it
infancy,
up. You
right?
train it up on and then all of a sudden,
But I'm
I mean, I
excited
know
about
yeah.
helping users enter a flow state. They call it flow state of artistic
Yeah.
inspiration, right?
Honestly, no. I mean, from DJing for years and years and years, I would honestly say that it is cool. And companies like Virtual DJ and or software like Virtual DJ. I'm not sure who. I think that they have a different company name, but of course Serato and just all the other tools that are out there and software that's out there. They've had versions of this, right? Like Virtual DJ was one real big years ago about like suggested next song and everything like that. And sometimes when you're up there in the booth, you're rocking the crowd and like you do want to control like all the things, but sometimes like for me, it was harder for playing for a crowd that I always play in front of all the time. Sometimes to kind of like diversify and add something new. So at certain points in times, and you just kind of fill it out. But it would be cool to kind of how they're going to implement this to kind of rip some ideas off of, like to kind of go back and forth to kind of say, okay, oh, this might be good, and then actually it'll be really good because some of the suggestions sometimes will be off base from like what you're playing. Like you're playing a certain thing, and then all of a sudden it brings in a song, like it suggests a song that just really wouldn't hit with the type of crowd that you're at. So maybe if it gets better at that aspect. But I'm super excited to kind of play with that type of software. I just wonder, okay, like, fraternity, you go to a frat party, are we ever going to get to a point like a DJ is usually a staple at like some of those things, right?
Right.
Because they're there, they're emceeing. Could we really see like a digital DJ?
To answer that, like, so I'm gonna start with this. We have both, try to branch out in other avenues to not only increase our income, but things that we do that we like to, try to, make money from, right? Making money as a
Yeah,
DJ is great, but I think this tool, read a little bit more about it, but I think this is going to be great for DJs to aid them, right? Because honestly, it's basically from what I understand is helps with your creative process. You can learn how to not learn, but you can conduct mixing sessions with different instruments, genres, and even
mm,
emotions. So you can gather that from the crowd, right? I guess. And so, like I said, I haven't used it yet. I'd actually be interested in looking at it, but I think this
yeah,
is something that could be really, really game changing for stuff like that, like at different parties. But not only that, but you got to think about producing music, right?
yeah,
It can really change the game when it comes to using these things that are getting these sounds and transforming beats, I want to say. I think, but you got to think, like, if we looking at people who have an ear for music, especially if you're listening, if you have an ear for music and you're like in, trying to get your sound right, like this might be something that can help you. This might be something that
yeah,
can help
man.
anybody. Listen, if you want to just run a party,
Our DJ entrepreneurs, our music entrepreneurs. I mean, like, there's a lot of tools. Of course, there's Suno AI. There's also UDO. All there's different platforms for instrumentals and everything like that for our producers. So if you're in music in general, there's a lot of tools. I know y'all seen Timbaland recently talk. I think he has a deal that's going on right now with Suno to where you can remix one of his songs and they have all the stems there and you can kind of just, create something. And he's like doing a contest right now for I think like 100K, for different things that you can do to kind of come out with the best mix. But it's really going to get interesting going forward. So I can't wait to kind of delve in further with that. But I did wanted to talk back just to go over again with the 18.1. So we didn't list out what exactly comes with there. Enhanced Siri we did mention, but also the smart replies in mail, which will be pretty good. So, and you have that kind of, I think Google has that via its Gemini feature. I think if you have a workplace or if you have like their Gemini Enhanced subscription, they offer that in Gmail. But so that equivalent. But back to Apple, you have a priority tab in mail and then like email summarization, which is shown on that commercial, which is crazy because it's showing all these commercials about Apple Intelligence, but it's not actually out. So I'm like, come on, man. But all right, so call recording, that feature that they have for all the phones, more of the camera controls, which is pretty cool. Uh, yeah, I mean, you can read up about like some of those. Those are some of the kind of the bigger ones that I think a lot of people are waiting for in that drop. And then in the 18.2, that's where a lot of the ones I don't know if y'all remember from WWDC, or any of their other segments, basically where you can create the images and kind of use that. But there's a lot of other platforms that you can create images, but this will be Apple's take on that. So wanted to touch on that real quick before we hit up the next subject. Go ahead, dude.
Man, I just think uh, it's almost it really is almost daily at this point that there's new features, new things, new tools coming out. And
Yeah,
I
lots
can't
going on.
even I can't even begin to fathom because I'm myself is excited just to use Apple Intelligence and see
Hmm.
where that goes to, right?
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where, like I said before, it's going to be one of those things. It changes just the everyday person how we do things, right? How you
Hmm.
get up in the morning, you do things. It changes your daily routine, and I think the more we get into AI, the more we get into tech, the more we get into new things that pop up, the more our lives are going to change a little bit, right? Um,
Yes.
Anyway, there's a few things we can do a quick speed round. Look, so I want to try this thing out. We're going to try out just as kind of a new segment. We're going to talk about some good things with AI, some bad things with AI, and some really ugly things because I want to shine light to all those features, those specific points in tech, but also see how you can utilize them, but also look what to look out for. So one of the cool things I've seen coming up, if you're into getting in shape. The end of the year is coming up. We know the holiday season is coming up, so we know how a lot of people like make those resolutions coming up. But there is new machine learning and AI software that can help predict weight loss, right?
Mm.
There's a model coming out that can track and predict weight loss on different types of diets. It's so that's going to be pretty cool. Um, that's one thing that's pretty good. I think if people really want to like get serious about stuff and they need like metrics, I'm a metric person. I want to see like, all right, what's this? What do I need to see? What do I need to do? Like, how do I need to get there? Right. Um,
That's interesting.
yeah. And then there's a few things that we've seen, like, you know, some bad things that's out there. But I saw a headline recently with NVIDIA and AI and how some things have gotten out of hand with some AI, NVIDIA AI chips. There's a headline saying that there's a Mumbai drug maker out there helping Putin get his hand on NVIDIA AI chips. I don't know where
Wow.
that lies, but there's some things out
Wow.
there where there a lot of these things can be used as tools and tools in war. Like we're really looking at some of those things. We're kind of coming up on an election year. So yeah, just be mindful of a lot of things like that. And then, of course, there's
Demure.
uh,
Be demure. Be mindful.
be very demure, very mindful.
Demure.
But also, we have things that unfortunately are very ugly with this technology. And there's an article that came up that a mother is suing an AI company after her son was unalived by um, unalived himself, claiming their chatbot he thought he was in a relationship with encouraged him
Wow.
to unalive himself, right? So, I mean, we can read between those lines, and honestly, like protect yourselves out there, you guys. Protect your kids.
Yeah.
Um, these things are real, and unfortunately, I don't know what the state of that case is, but man, it's so unfortunate. That is really the ugly side of how AI and technology can be, because unfortunately, these things are out there, but there's no harness on it yet, right? And I think we've talked about that, DJ. We've expressed how we think there should be some type of, you know, set of rules and guidelines that needs to control these things, right? And these tools, because man,
I mean, they
unfortunately,
do have, I mean, they do
they
have
do,
some kind of
they
guardrails and they
do,
have a lot of these things. It's just the thing that hallucinations and which are probably less frequent now, especially like when you get into the newer O1 models, since they're actually
yeah.
thinking and they're taking a long time and inference. But I think that um yeah, either way, we still have to be mindful because, like, how social media was, like, or is right now, to it's young to our teenagers and everything like that. They get in there and they get influenced by these certain things. This is also new technology, so it's gonna, I think, for parents and for just adults that have either kids or just family members, friends, anybody that can be easily influenced. You just have to kind of understand how it impacts them, and I think there's still a lot that we don't know. Like they're still doing search research on how social media is impacting people. So now, you're gonna have AI and these conversations and relationships that people feel like they might build with these, systems and things of that nature. And I don't know, it kind of gets into the unknown from that point. But either way, yeah, definitely be mindful, like Deuce was mentioning, and you guys keep safe out there.
But yeah, no, I think just in all, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you're looking to start a business, right? There's tools out there. Of course, some of the highlights we talked about today, with the music industry and what's going on with Apple and a few other things. Like I think that look into these things, man. Like this is here, it's here to stay. And hopefully, you guys can take advantage of everything that can work in your favor. And
Hmm.
man, I think, once we go forward with this, AI is going to be here to stay for a long time.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's here pretty much. I mean, like the cat's out the bag. I think there's a lot of competition out in the space, to leverage that. And as entrepreneurs, there's not just, AI, but it's just like for me, I'm just finding like in all the things, like especially the serial entrepreneurs, that you have a lot of different ventures, right? No matter what you're doing, is that you can kind of leverage these technologies because everybody uses probably a computer or a smartphone or whatever for, how they conduct business now. And, that's a tool. And I think AI is going to be another core tool such as that for any kind of business, like for my real estate investors, if you're running through calculations, the underwriting, if you're trying to, bounce ideas off of different strategies, exit strategies, how to, do something with certain properties. These are things that you want to kind of leverage these tools so that way you can move faster. Or if you want to say, hey, can you run some comps on this or whatever the case is, eventually, like not saying that that's out there, but I'm sure people are working on there, automatically, pulling some comps so that way you can get a good offer right away. And then eventually, like, have it send a draft an email, make an offer to sellers or to the seller's agent and all these other things. So, I think the more you start getting comfortable with integrating these the AI solutions into whatever venture that you're doing as entrepreneurs, the better it will be. Or, if you're going to spin up something that new, right? If you guys want to start using, building out your own models, you're seeing a lot of success with these entrepreneurs that are raising capital out there in Silicon Valley. Like, they're raising crazy amounts of money. We were just talking about what, Deuce, 6.6 billion for OpenAI. Now, granted,
Mm.
they're established, but
Billion.
billion, yeah. Like, so there's just a lot. So people are leaving. Some of the bigger players in the company starting off their own, and they're getting a lot of capital. So businesses are definitely investing in AI, and that's a wave that you guys want to definitely take advantage of.
Absolutely. But yeah,
Yeah,
like you said, this is for we want to bring light to a lot of things that we see and we think is cool, but also we want to get some feedback from you guys. Let us know what kind of things you want to see, what kind of topics you want us to cover, and we're here for you guys. We're men of the people, and we want to bring our tech to our community and help you guys turn your income autonomously or put some
that's
autonomy to your
right.
income, right?
Put some autonomy, yeah. Put some autonomy on my income.
Put some autonomy on that
Put
thing.
some respect on my.
But
Yes, man.
look, guys, look, like, comment, share, subscribe. We will have links down below, a few key points about
Yep.
this episode, and we hope to see y'all next time.
And go Cowboys. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Don't
Hey,
try
man,
to
I
get
don't
away from
know.
it.
You
Y'all,
might want to
y'all
take
try.
that one. No,
Whoever waited to the end for that one, I appreciate you because yeah, I know,
listen.
I know. Hey, it maybe not, I don't know. It's our year. We always say that it's our year, but we're looking pretty good tonight. But I don't want to look back at it after this report. We'll see. We shall see.
All right,
All right,
man.
y'all. Peace.